Hello everybody and welcome back, or welcome if you are new. My name is Alana. I am Mrs.SmithStitches here on Flosstube as well as on Instagram. So thank you so much for joining me again. I know it has been a long time since I have filmed. I actually skipped, I guess it was March. Technically it is still March while I'm filming, but I do try to have a video come out the first of every month if I can, and time just sort of got away from me. I had all good intentions, and then, you know what, life happens sometimes. I can't really say that I lost my stitchy mojo. I don't think that's really what happened. It's just more timing. I didn't have a ton of time to stitch. I've been working a lot of nights, which is very, very new to me. So the month of March, I worked quite a few nights, which I find really throws me off, just in general. I'm not used to working nights, so I find it's, by the time I figure out how to stay awake and how to fall asleep, and it's just a whole thing. Anyway, long story short, did not have a ton of time to stitch in the last 2 months, but I have got quite a bit accomplished. I do have 3 finishes. I do have a few new starts since the last time I filmed, I believe, and I have a couple of whips. So certainly not a ton for 2 months worth of work, but at least it's something, right? So I hope everybody is having an awesome springtime. It is beautiful sunny day here today. It is Easter weekend that I'm filming. I will plan on uploading this on the 1st, which is Easter Monday. I do work on Easter Monday, but I'm going to film a couple of days ahead. So hopefully I have time to edit and get it all organized and up bright and early on the 1st on Easter Monday. I know, I'm sorry, there's a little glare in my glasses. I hate that, but I can't see without my glasses, and it's such a beautiful sunny day. The natural light is fantastic, so I'm gonna go with it, and I apologize for my glary glasses. Yeah, so we are planning a big Easter egg hunt with the kids and the grandkids on Saturday. So that'll be fun for Easter. Hope everybody has, I guess by the time you see this Easter, it'll be Easter Monday. So I hope you're all having a fantastic Easter weekend, or you all had a fantastic Easter weekend. Other than that, my plan actually for filming for the rest of April, because April is Stitch North month, which is very exciting. I am going to weekend number 2. If you are going to weekend number 2, please let me know down below. Leave a comment or send me a message on Instagram and let me know that you're going to be there too. So I think my plan is, because I'm not super prepared for this video, I know it's been 2 months, but still not super prepared. I think my plan is going to be to do another video 2 weeks time with all of sort of my Stitch North plans, what I'm going to start hopefully there, and that kind of stuff. I have a few things that I've kitted up that I haven't put into this video that I think I'm going to save for the next video. Also, technically, this is my Stitch anniversary, sort of. My very first Flosstube I actually put out on Easter weekend. Now, because Easter's early this year, it'll actually be in a few weeks, my actual 1 year anniversary on Flosstube. So I'm going to my next video, so I'm going to do another video in 2 weeks time. I'm going to have a Flosstube sort of giveaway, and I'm going to just kind of go over my plans for Stitch North. Then I'm hoping I'll do another video just after Stitch North. So I usually do videos monthly. I think for the next little bit, I'm going to try to do every 2 weeks, just because there's a fair bit happening. I do have some stuff that I've ordered. I do have some stuff that I'm expecting in that haven't got here yet, because, you know, it takes a while for stuff to come to me in Canada. So yeah, so I'm hoping to have a few videos every 2 weeks for the next little bit. And then we'll see what happens in the summer. Honestly, I never know. I never know if I'm going to have lots of time to show, or I guess lots of things to show, or time to film, or what. Anyway, we'll see. We're going to wing it. We're winging it. Even though I'm a bit of a planner, we're going to wing it. So Stitch North is the end of the month. So I'm very, very excited to go and to meet some people in real life. I think that's really fun. There's quite a few Flosstubers that are going. So that'll be fun to meet everybody in person and to meet all kinds of new people, and get to do a little bit of shopping in person, because that doesn't happen very often for me. I don't have an LNS, so I am mostly an online shopper. So it'll be really fun to be able to, particularly fabric. I really enjoy picking out fabric and stuff in person. I like to touch it. And that's about it for me. There hasn't been a ton going on, just same old, same old. Lots of work. Grandkids are doing fantastic. Very, very much looking forward to Easter weekend. If I edit, I'll try to insert like a picture of everybody's baskets and stuff. We don't put like the kids' faces or anything online. But I'll try. My husband was joking with me because I did up Easter baskets. So for our kids, we still do an egg hunt. We still do like a legitimate Easter egg hunt. They hunt for eggs. I don't know if they still like it, but we still like it. So they do it. They humor us. But for the kids, the grandkids, we do a little basket. And I was sort of spreading it all out and organizing it. It's making sure I didn't need anything else, right? My husband sort of comes in and he's like, it's not Christmas. I was like, it's not that bad. I didn't think I did that bad. But anyway, so they each got a little basket from Granny and Grampy. And yeah, that's about it. Nothing super new and exciting going on here. Just lots of work. And thankfully, we're starting to see some sun. No snow. We're not got any snow anymore. Although apparently it's supposed to snow this week a little bit, which is unnecessary. If anybody has been with me since the very, very beginning, my very first Flosstube was Easter weekend of last year, 2023. And we had a flood. We had a like freak ice storm in my area and our basement flooded, like up to your knees flooded. So that was a good time. And we were having all the family over. So that was fun. Quite literally have just finished the basement. We finally got it done. It's probably not even been 2 months that's been finished. So it took us almost a year to get it cleaned up, to get everything replaced, to get all of the like construction and stuff done. And then like we had to order furniture and stuff too. So that was pretty time consuming. But yeah, it is finished. The basement is officially finished. My husband actually decided to put his office down there. He works from home. And we have a nice like sitting area sort of TV, and we have a spare bedroom down there too. So yeah, it's good. It's done. It was a very long haul getting that organized, but it's finished. Yay. Okay, I think that's sort of it for my little like intro to what's been going on in my life, which hasn't been very much of anything exciting. So I'm going to start with my finishes, I think. So my first finish is a big one. I've been working on it a couple years probably. So it is the Little House Needleworks Little House Neighborhood. This was given to me by a friend of mine on Instagram. Her Instagram handle is Nikki the Canuck. She's another Canadian girl. She doesn't have a floss tube, but she sent it to me in this beautiful package with all kinds of other stuff, and it was fully kitted. So I did exactly what she sent. So here it is, my finish. I love it. So I am going to bring this to the framers. I don't think it's going to be before my next video because I have to go into Ottawa. I don't have anybody local that frames. The only change that I made is I did change neighborhood to the Canadian version. The Canadian, like English. I don't know how you say that. So it has a U. And I really hemmed and hawed over changing it because I don't know. Anyway, I decided it was going to bug me on the wall if it was spelt without the U. So I didn't really rechart it. I just sort of shoved the little U in there. I think it's adorable. I absolutely love it. Like, I just think it's so cute. So it has my initials. It has the year that I finished it. I just think it's so cute. I'm so happy to have that done. I actually think it's going to hang here. This came from my bedroom. I just needed something because this room was the room that I use as a craft room was like a spare room. It's been everybody's bedroom, this room. And then so when everybody sort of moved out, this room became my craft room, but I didn't really have anything on the walls. And then I decided I was going to do a floss tube. And then I was like, oh, I don't really have anything. You'll see I still have my like Christmas tree that I was going to decorate for every season, and then I didn't. So now it's just a bare tree. It's pretty when it's lit up though at night. It's kind of nice. So I don't know if I'm going to put something else. I don't know. I have all these plans and then I have zero follow through. So that's just what happens. So I am shipping this off to a friend the pattern that she would like to stitch. So I'm going to send that off to her probably the same time that I get, oh, sorry, I bumped my camera, that I get that into the framer. So I'm hoping this week I'm working the whole week, and then next week I'm in Toronto again for the whole week. So, and then hopefully after that I'll film, and then I'll probably get some into the city and get some stuff done. I have a bit that I want to get accomplished for my Stitch North. I really wanted to make, what's it called? I'm going to forget what it's called. The mat, like the stitching mat. Jessica, the Sweetwater Stitcher, has a pattern. Now I haven't downloaded it or printed off or done any of that with it, but she has a pattern that I would really like to get. She has a stitched part in her. She has a video. Maybe I'll link her channel. I don't know if I'll link the exact video, but I'll link Jessica. Most of you probably know Jessica anyway. And so I've watched that video with her mat, and she has a few different versions, and some of them are stitched, have like a stitch piece, some of them don't. I'm not going to have a stitch piece, but I really wanted to have a mat for the retreat. And you know me, like I had plans to do that like forever ago. Like I've known about this retreat for an entire year. Like it's not like we didn't, sign up for it like April of 2023, and I haven't done anything with it. So honestly, so I am hoping to get that done by I don't know if that'll happen either, honestly, because this week and next week is looking a little hairy. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. So my next finish that I finished, which wasn't at all on my plan. So if you watched my whip parade, this wasn't even on it, honestly. And then I kind of came across it and I was like, oh, it's so close. I'm going to finish it. So it is the Country Cottage Needleworks. Country Cottage Needleworks. It's the snow sampler. I think it's a little bit hard to see there. It's super cute. This was the fabric that was awful, and I would never stitch on it again. It is like, it's the called for fabric. So let's see. It is 32 count raw silver linen is what it is. And it is the called for. I did everything the called for on this. And it has a sparkle to it, which is pretty, but I hated stitching on it. It is pretty though. And it finished, I just couldn't see it. And it's 32 count. I still couldn't see it. I don't know if the light is actually picking up this fantastic. The lighting is really nice today, but I don't know. Looks crooked actually. So it was really sweet. It was a nice, I just wouldn't stitch it back. I wouldn't stitch it again on this fabric. But it's a cute little sampler. Like it's super, super cute. I like the look of it finished, but I didn't enjoy the actual stitching of it. I found it really, really hard to see. Now I have really bad eyes. So somebody with better eyes probably wouldn't have as hard of a time as me. Like I use magnification for almost everything now. Like I'm really finding that my eyes are not doing fantastic. I need to get my eyes tested, but my husband's swapping insurance stuff. So we're waiting for that to happen. Because I really find my eyes are getting significantly worse. And so that might be part of it for me. What's this? Oh, that's that. Sorry. That's not for anybody. Good. I kind of decided super last minute that I was going to film today. I was like, I really have to get this done and get this up. I feel so bad that I missed last month. And so I was like, and I've had people message me like, are you okay? And I'm like, I'm fine. I'm so sorry. Life just happens. So I'm not very organized. I've sort of got stuff all over my little table here and it'll be fine. Okay, so my last finish, I finished 3 things, was actually for Winter Cross Stitch Camp, which is hosted by Sherry at the Colorado Cross Stitcher. She does both a summer camp and a winter camp, and sometimes a sampler camp in September, but I don't think she did that this year. So winter camp is the month of February, and it is to stitch something. This one was stitch something with an animal. She said it could be anything with an animal. So I chose to stitch the Drawn Thread Snow Day. So it has little tiny birds. She said a little bird was okay. I like to follow the rules. I thought this was super cute. I had actually had this in my stash, or I had just ordered it. I can't remember, but I loved it. I thought it was super, super cute. I did my own conversion completely of just stuff that I had in stash. Like I matched the colors the best I could. And I use this fabric is a 32 count fabric from Hobby Lobby. It's just kind of, I don't know what color it is. It's just a pale blue, but I know I bought it at Hobby Lobby. And here it is. And I literally just grabbed thread that matched the picture. That's all I did. I just thought it looked so cute. It's so cute. Now I'm realizing as I'm looking at it, I did not put the little buttons on. The little snowmen have little buttons. So this is not a full finish. The little snowmen had little buttons. And I do have some actually. So I'm going to get those and put those on. But I thought that was super cute. But I forgot the buttons. Oh dear. Oh well, I'll get that done. I think I'm going to turn into a little pillow. Probably 3 years from now, because that's about the time that I fully finish stuff. I think it's cute. It's very, very cute. It was a very quick stitch. The challenge is usually to stitch it within the month. So you start on the 1st and you finish it on the, well, this year was a leap year, so the 29th. And I needed it. I actually finished it on the 29th. I kind of put it aside. I'm really bad to do stuff like that. Like I start something, I'm like, okay. And then I put it aside and then it gets sort of piled up in other things. And then it's like, oh dear, I need to finish that. So I did not, but did get it finished on time. I did finish, I completed the challenge for the snow day. And those are the finishes. So I did 3 finishes. One I'm taking to the framers this month for sure. For sure, I want that Little House Needlework, Little House Neighborhood up. I don't know what my finishing plans are for the more Christmassy, snowy ones. I'm going to have to wait and see. They'll probably get tucked in my 101 finishes that I have so many now. Like I have baggies in my like closet of my craft room with stitching that I have finished but haven't fully finished. And my goal this year, and it's April now, so my goal this year was to fully finish 1 thing per month, and I haven't fully finished anything. So I'm not doing very well with my goals at all, honestly. I'm actually kind of missing doing Whip Go this year. So I didn't do Whip Go this year because I wanted to have a little bit more flexibility, and I was just going to work on my focus pieces for the year. There's a few things I want to try to finish by the end of the year, but now I find I'm a little bit like doing everything. I'm not focused. I'm not focused, but I will show you my focus piece for this year. One of them. This is the only one I've actually worked on so far this year. So it is the Scarlet House, the Smith Sampler. So I started this as an anniversary start. So in our wedding anniversary, I started on our 25th wedding anniversary, which was June 13th of 2023. And I really would like to get this finished by our wedding anniversary this year. I don't know if that's quite going to happen, but it certainly is. I've been working on it quite a bit. It's a beautiful sampler. I love this one. I could work on this and I could probably monogamously stitch this one, I think, or pretty darn close. I'm really, really enjoying it. I did do my own conversion for this as well. I had originally ordered the DMCs and really didn't like them, and then went to Wool Time, which is in Ottawa. They have a beautiful cross-stitch collection. If you haven't been in there lately, if you're local, I was just there this past week, 2 weeks ago, one day, because there was some stuff that I'll talk about in my next video that I've kitted for the summer and stuff. And they are increasing their cross-stitch selection considerably, their patterns. They do carry a full selection of the Gentle Arts threads, which is fantastic. And that's what I converted this to, is Gentle Arts. But wow, do they have a lot of patterns in there, more than they usually have. They also have a full selection of DMC if you're ever looking or need. I would highly recommend going to check them out for sure. They were fantastic. And it's nice to have somewhere where you can go. They do have fabric as well, and they carry all the way like 28, 25, all the way down to 40 count. Not necessarily a full range of colors. It's mostly Zweigart, but I actually ran into a lady there and we got talking, and she says she will pick up the fabric and she does a lot of dyeing the fabric herself, because they're antique white, like they don't have a huge selection of colors for the higher counts. I shouldn't say that, because for the lower counts, they seem to have a lot more color options. But it's fantastic if that's what you're like, sometimes you just want like a nice simple white, or the antique white. I really like that one. But yeah, they do have a great selection. Their selection is growing considerably. And so for us in this area, we don't have anybody that's an in-person store. So it's really nice to be able to go and especially if you're color converting. Like I did a few that I'll show in my next video, and it's nice to see. It's like, oh, I want to, this is what the color looks like, but no, I'd like something a little darker, a little brighter, or a little whatever. And you can kind of pick and choose while you're there. I like to see stuff in person. That's just me. I like to see stuff that's just me. So now I will apologize because I haven't ironed anything. So I was watching YouTube, Flosstube, and I forget who I was watching. And she has an Etsy store, and I've ordered from her before. Oh, it's going to drive me crazy because it's like a super well-known person. It's a super well-known Flosstuber, and it's going to drive me absolutely nuts. Oh my gosh. I can't remember her name. And as soon as I stop filming, it's going to come to me. Anyway, she has a beautiful floss tube. So she was doing her floss tube, and she said she doesn't iron because it's actually not great for the fibers to iron them too often. And I was like, oh, because I iron everything before my videos. And so now I was like, well, do I iron? Maybe I should listen. I should listen and not iron. So I didn't iron this time. It does bug me a little bit though, because I like it ironed. Anyway, so I am doing this on 40 count. I want to say it's Heritage by Picture This Plus. So here's where I am on my Smith sampler. I feel like the colors aren't picking up spectacular, actually. It's very bright colors, and actually they don't really seem like they're pulling very bright right now. Maybe my natural light, I need my ring light. My natural light isn't giving the full effect. Better if I hold it back here? Maybe it's better if I hold it back here. So here's where I am. I finished, here we go. Mostly this. So I came down here and I did all of this since the last time you guys have seen it. It is actually, I can see this like gigantic dog here. I'm going to get rid of that. I love my dogs, but their hair is everywhere. Yeah, so it does actually go pretty quickly. The border is a lot. I like it, but it's very different. So it's always different colors. But I really like it. I'm very excited. I know exactly where it's going to go. So I'm pretty anxious to get it up and framed. So yeah, so there's my progress on the Smith sampler, which is by the Scarlet House. I don't know if I said that. If you want my conversion for that, just send me a message and I'll send it to you. I have it written down somewhere, but I don't have it written down here, so I apologize for that. I know that Sarah, Handmade by Sarah W., she is stitching this with a Roxy Floss conversion. And I feel like she's stitching it with Diana, Be a Blessing Stitcher. Diana and I stitched together. We did a sale together as well. I think there might be somebody else too. Now I'm going to forget. I'm sorry. I really should write this stuff down, and I don't. I think about it and then I forget. So yeah, so I know Sarah and I'm pretty sure it's Diana are stitching that. And I know Sarah's doing the Roxy Floss Co. conversion, which looks beautiful. I'm very excited to get to Stitch North so I can see some of the stuff in person. I'm hoping to be able to get some stuff. I have a little savings account for Stitch North so I can get some stuff bought. And, okay, so whip number, where am I at here? I don't know. My next whip, I have no idea where I'm at number-wise, this is The Day by Plum Street. You'll see my next, there's a few Plum Streets happening here because I have a Plum Street. I just love them. I love all the Plum Streets. I did place a couple of orders for Market, but haven't gotten anything yet because, again, Canadian, and some of them only ship to the States, so I actually have to go down and pick it up, and that's not in the plans for the next little bit. So this is The Day. And I think all I got done on this since the last time you've seen it is I finished the house. So it doesn't look like a lot. It looks, oh dear. See, I do like when it's not wrinkled though. So here's my house. So the last time I think the house was like almost finished. Those bricks, I really love stitching the bricks, but man, do they ever take a long time. Like that was a long time to stitch all those bricks. I just feel like my light isn't as nice as I like it to be. I don't know if this room is a great filming room. I think I might have to go back downstairs and film, but it's just so nice because I can shut the door and I can film when people are here. Whereas the other, when I was filming in my kitchen, it's like, that is the main door everybody goes in and out of. So it's a little bit hard. You have to organize yourself a little bit better. So there, the house is done. And so I feel like the rest of it will happen pretty quickly. So there it is. I am stitching this on 40 count platinum. With the DMC. I didn't do any of the fancy floss for this. So as most of the Plum Streets, it gives you like the fancy floss option, and then it always gives you a DMC. I think all of their charts do that, or the most of them that I've had do it. So I didn't do any of the fancy. I just did all DMC for this. And I think it's so pretty. I really like it. So I'm hoping to get that finished shortly, because now that the house is done, the house is sort of the biggest, like the house is sort of the big, more time consuming, I guess, because all of the little bricks are different colors, and it's very pretty. It's very pinky, which isn't really my thing, but I'm really liking it. I'm not really a pinky person. I'm more of like a blues kind of girl. But okay, what have I got here? Okay, so my last whip, and then I have 3 new starts as well. So my last whip is At Home by Brenda Gervais. It's so pretty. I love me some Brenda Gervais, let me tell you. I think I could stitch everything she ever made and be thrilled with it. So here's this. This was my New Year's start. I am doing this all the called for. Called for fabric is 36 count Vintage Country Mocha. I will say I wish I had gone 40 count. I find the 36 count a little loosey for me with 1 thread, but I don't love 2 threads on 36 count. So I'm like, So, and it's a good size. Like, this is not a small sampler. So I do wish I had gone 40. So if you haven't started it yet, and you're thinking between 36 and 40, I would have done 40. But although there is 1/1, so keep that in mind too. The 1/1 took me literally forever. It's the words. The words are 1/1. So here is my progress on that. Again, a very, very pretty border, like super, super pretty. So all those words are 1/1, which I feel like took me literally 2 weeks to do. It's pretty. It's a really pretty sampler. Like, I'm very excited. The roof is finally finished. I have actually started, I don't think you can see because the house is very muted, but I have actually oh, there you go, you can see it there. I've started the mortar, not much. Oh, now it's fallen down. I have to get myself together here. So yeah, I think it looks great. I'm very pleased. I love the colors, but I probably would have sized down to 40 count. But this is another one that I'm very excited to get up on a wall somewhere. It is another one that I probably could just stitch and not stitch on anything else for forever. So I'm hoping to get the house. I like to get the houses done first when they're really brick and mortar like that, because I find they take me a really long time. It's a lot of counting. So my plan is to get the house done, and then I feel like the rest of it will just fill in relatively nicely. Okay, so that is all my whips. And now I am on to some new starts. So I did 1 new start when I was away in Toronto. And I did 1 start with Chris, the camping stitcher. She did a leap year Sal, and I didn't know about it because I have been really not on top of my Flosstube. I've really not been on Instagram very much lately. So I found out about it like the day, I think, or the day before. And I was like, oh, I'd like to get in on that. I'd like to get in on that. And then I saw what everybody else was stitching, and these were kind of bigger pieces. So what I did for my leap year start was just I had it already kitted. I didn't have time to kit anything else. No time. So I decided to start Hello Winter. And one of the things I did order was actually Hello Spring, because I'd like to get the set of these. I just love them. I love the little small Plum Street ones. I just think it's so cute. Now I'm doing them both on the same piece of 36 count. I feel like it's parchment again, which I know I'm already stitching that on. I think I'm doing 40 count parchment for This Is the Day. And this is literally, you're going to laugh. I did start it on Leap Day though. And I worked on Leap Day. So here we go. That is the start. Hello Winter. This is the start of Hello Winter, which is a little embarrassing. That's all I got. But I started it on Leap Day and I haven't touched it since. So I think I've been kind of going through like my book of days and trying to like do I do my birthday sal on like the 18th because my birthday's the 18th? Or do I do like leap day on the 29th? Do I do like, you know what I mean? Like trying to mix it up a little bit. I'm trying to give myself a little bit of a schedule because I think I am more the type of person that just wants to work on one thing for a week and then switch. So I'm trying to sort of break it up a little, which is nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. But I think I'm trying to break up a little bit so that like I can get a day in on something fall or something Halloween or my anniversary start or my birthday starts. Like I have 2 birthday starts and I already have another one planned. Neither one of them are remotely finished. And I'd like them to be like, I would like to like just not keep starting birthday starts and get them finished. Although I have finished I've done pretty well so far in the new year. I finished quite a few things this new year, so I'm pretty pleased. But I have started now most of the stuff I've started is small or already a plan to start. So I feel like I'm doing better. Sorry if you can hear my vacuum. I bought a robot vacuum. It's amazing. It's amazing. I'm very late to the game, but I have 2 very, very hairy dogs and 2 very small grandchildren who, when they come over, no matter how many times I vacuum, are covered in hair. And so my friend came over and she's like, you need a robot vacuum. Like, you need this. And I told my husband I needed one. And then he started researching and he came home with one. So it's fantastic. And it just like, I can film a video and it's, if you don't have one. I know, I feel like everybody already has one and I'm very late to the game, but I love it. I love it. It's amazing. So Erin, my friend Erin watches my Flosstube videos, even though she does not stitch. She's so cute. She is a wonderful friend. I'm very blessed to have her in my life. And she's so cute. And she'll message me. She is a night person. So, and I'm a morning person. She'll message me at like 11 o'clock at night. I'm watching your video. What does this mean? It's like, I am sleeping. I will talk to you in the morning. Anyway, Erin, I got my robot vacuum. So next time you come over, you can admire her. She's beautiful. Okay, sorry, that went off on a complete tangent. My next start, as I started in Toronto, I can't remember why I brought it with me, but I did. So it is also Plum Street, and it is Winter Blessing. It's so cute. I think I got the spring one of this too, actually. I don't know. I went on a little, like, it's market. I have to buy things and just ordered a little bit from a little bit of everywhere. And that was that. So this is on the same piece of fabric. Actually, it's a big old piece of fabric that I probably got from 1-2-3 Stitch because I feel like that's where I buy most of my fabric. So I definitely did better with this one. I was missing a color, but I got it. Here, let me fold it. So here we go. Oh, I'm not very good at this. Here, hang on. Goodness gracious. And it is wrinkled. So here is my, and it's very cute. And I'm using for both all the called for. I had most of them in stash, actually. I actually have a bit of a stash of the fancy floss now. And because they're so small, they only really need like a few. Now, some of it being Plum Street, it's usually a mix, and this one is as well. I think there was only a handful of the fancy ones that I needed, so I just picked up a couple. And then some I just do the DMC because it doesn't matter. It's so small. Like when it's like the black, like there's a little bit of black around his neck. I'm not buying a fancy floss for that. That's silly. So there's that. So that I did much better with. It was the color around the border actually that I was missing. So I didn't start the border. So that now because it's winter and now it's spring, I probably won't get back to these until it starts to get winter again, because I am a stitch in the season girl. I'm trying to get out of that a little bit. Like I'm trying to like pull in some of my my whips that are seasonal at different times, just because I find it, particularly with Christmas, and not so much with winter, but with Christmas, it's such a short season between fall and Christmas that I just find I'm not getting a ton of my Christmas stuff done. I get a bunch started, and I have quite a few patterns that I have either kitted and not started, or have and want to stitch, but Christmas is such a hairy, crazy, wonderful time of year that I don't really spend enough time with actual stitching. I'm usually making other things at Christmas. So I am trying to get out of the habit of doing just seasonal. That's why I'm like, on the 25th, I'd like to stitch Christmas, and on the 13th, I'll stitch Halloween. But it all depends, because my work schedule isn't a set schedule. It's every month is different. Sometimes every day is different. I can be called in. I cannot work. Like, I find I'd like it's hard. It's like, oh, today's the 13th. I'd like to work on my like midnight watch, which is my Halloween piece. It's the only really Halloween piece I have on the go. I don't stitch a lot of Halloween, but if I work 7 to 7 on the 3rd, like I'm not going to stitch that day. And then I just forget about it. I just need a bit of a schedule. Okay, so I have one new start left. I did have a little list somewhere. Let's see. One new start left. Okay, and this is, save the best for last. So this is my Brenda Gervais with Thy Needle and Thread. These are the sampler of the season. Samplers? This is spring. So this is actually the last one. I have officially started them all now. I kitted this. This was actually, I think, almost every single thread was Gentle Arts. And so I kitted the whole thing the last time I went to Wool Time. I just decided to kit it. So here's my very, very, very messy. I think there's one Weeks in here. And I just so happen to have it. It's the Lancaster Red is the only Weeks. The rest are Gentle Arts. So here are my flosses. Let me do it this way. I don't know if you're really getting a great look at them. And yeah, I just so happen to have that one red. And there we go. Look at that. Look at me, all professional. So yeah, I just kitted the whole thing. Now, some of them I have done, like I know, like I started with fall, and I know fall I did like a mix of the fancy floss and the not fancy floss, and I changed a couple of the colors, and I think with the last two, with winter and spring, I just kitted the whole thing. I was just like, no, they share a lot of the same colors, but I love the fancy flosses. I love the variegation that I get out of them. What I don't love is that the dye lots can be so incredibly different. And so as much as I would like to switch, like I was thinking, oh, well, I've got all these colors from this. I'll use them from fall to spring or winter or whatever. But then I'm finding some of the dye lots are really different. So if I end up needing to get a second one, it looks completely different. So that is the only thing. Like I've actually ordered from the same place and gotten different dye lots. Like I needed 4 of one color for Sarah Smith, which I haven't worked on in quite a while. And 3 were the same dye lot and 1 wasn't. And so I was like, oh, and it's different. Like it's a super different. I think it was a Weeks, but it is completely different. So I'm just like, oh, I needed 4 skeins for that. And now I'm, you know what I mean? So I do love the variegation. I love the variegation of the fancy flosses or the overdyes or whatever you want to call them. But I really struggle when I need more than 1 skein for a project and they come different because I order most of my stuff online. So I'm not staring at them. I'm not looking at them being like, oh, that dye lot's different. So unfortunately. So anyway, long story short, I kitted the whole thing. So now I have a few. I think they're all fully kitted now, as far as I know. So I'm hoping, I want to say I won't get them done this year. I know I won't, but I'm hoping I get them all. They're not that big. They are a lot of stitching, if that makes sense, but they really aren't that big of a sampler. I just love them. I love them all. I've had so many people, of all the things I stitch, I think I get the most messages about these patterns. I only have the one spring in front of me because there are 4. She has all of them. The only place that I have seen that you can purchase them is on her site, Country Samplers, I want to say. It's Brenda Gervais' actual website. And they only ship to the States. So I'm fortunate that I can go down into the States. I live close enough to the border that I can go and pick them up. I have a P.O. box down there. But they aren't super easy to get at if you're anywhere else, unfortunately. I just love them. I just think they're the sweetest little samplers ever. I found these from Caitlin, who is a Stitch for Mom. She has a YouTube channel, and she was doing a Sal, Sampler of the Season Sal, I believe is the hashtag. And they're just sweet. Like, they're just the cutest. I had never seen them. Well, you can't find them in stores, so that's probably why. But I thought they were so cute. And so I instantly bought them all. And then waited because the store was like on holidays, and then I bought them, and then it was like, then I had to go down to the States and pick them up. It's a whole thing. Anyway, so I did finally get them, and I have officially started them all. So I am stitching this on 40 count. Hang on a second. Milk and Honey, which is like my classic go-to, I think, for all samplers. It's Fiber on a Whim. it's just such a nice sampler color, and it's really easy for me to get. Not all fabric is easy for me to access, and it's really like an easy access fabric. I feel like everybody carries it. So here is my start. It's not so bad. Not too bad of a start. I really don't feel like the natural light is so nice, but I don't think it's picking up my colors very nicely today. Again, it was not, you see my hoop marks. Oh. So there it is. So they're all officially started. I will be working on this. I think this is one of the ones I'm going to bring with me to Toronto. I am taking the train again. So I like to have something that's like a higher count, because I do find I need, on 40 count, I need like my light, like I'm a bit of a princess. I need the whole thing, like on 40 count. So I'm hoping to take something that's a little bit smaller. I haven't decided that, actually. I should look into that. It takes something that's a little bit smaller. It's a little bit more like easier for me to stitch on the train. The last time I went to Toronto, I actually worked on Little House Neighborhood, and I wasn't sure, because I can get motion sick, so I wasn't sure how it would be, like if I'd actually be able to stitch on the train. But it's like a 4.5 hour train ride, so it's kind of boring if you can't do anything. And reading to me is no different than stitching. So I actually, like here in Canada, we have like Gravol. It's like ginger Gravol, so it doesn't make you sleepy, but it's for motion sickness. Well, it worked like a charm. So I took a couple of those before I left. I sat and stitched the whole way there. It was so nice. Now on the way back, I was actually sitting with a friend that went with me, so I didn't stitch, I just chatted, which was also nice. But yeah, so I'm hoping to, I've got to go through my stash. I'd like to bring something that's not so big, because it's bulky. Like I like smaller pieces, even though Little House Neighborhood was a good size. So I will plan for that. I'm trying to think what else. I do have an upcoming sale coming up, and I have none of it to show you, and I most likely will not have it to, I know I won't have it to show you on the next one either, but I'm going to tell you about it. So my friend Holly, who is Hobbies of Holly on Instagram and on Flosstube, she has a new Flosstube. She just started, I think she started actually since the last time I filmed. We are going to do a sale together it's a pattern from By the Bay Needle Art. Now, big if, I can figure out how to put the picture here, I will. It's called But God. That is the name of the pattern. It's a really, really pretty pattern. It is not in PDF form. So I have to get it shipped, and she's in Maine and she doesn't ship to Canada. So I have to ship it and pick it up. So it's just going to take me a while to get it. So it's just going to take me a while to get it. So we are going to do this sale. I have no idea what the hashtag, when we're going to start it. Holly is going to put out a video, I think this weekend as well. You may have already seen it by the time mine gets up. So anyway, it's happening. If you're interested in joining us, just keep that in mind. She has an Etsy store. It's called By the Bay Needle Art. I will try to link that too, but it's not in PDF. Which for me, like it's just easier for me to do PDF when buying off of Etsy. So I'm going to get it and have it delivered, and I'm going to do the whole thing. It's just going to take me a while to get started, because then I have to kit it and get all the stuff for it. So it's going to happen. I just don't know when, but it's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful pattern. And Holly is stitching it for her little grandson, Graham, who has had some health issues. And so she's stitching it for him, and I'm joining her in that. And if you want to join us, please, please, please join along. If you're in the States, you won't have any problem getting the pattern. I just have to try to wrangle it. It's not hard to get. It's just, I just don't have any plans to go down anytime soon. So it's not difficult. The border's only about 20 minutes for me. It's just, I actually need to get a new passport, because mine is going to expire. So when you get a new passport, you have to send your old one away. So I'm just going to be without a passport for a little while. Not long, probably. It's like 20 days. But because things have been so busy, we haven't had a chance to actually go and do it. Because my husband's work is crazy and my work is crazy. Anyway. So we'll see. I don't know when I'll get down there again, but when I do, we'll get that started. I'm very, very much looking forward to it. It's a beautiful, beautiful pattern. All of her patterns are beautiful. I will probably just piggyback and sort of do a few things there. And there's some other stuff, honestly, that I've ordered that I'd like to pick up there as well. So I'll just have to make a day of it one day and go down and get all my packages. And I think that's it. I'm trying to think what else. I'm going to film again in a couple weeks. So with all of my plans for Stitch North, and like, I'm trying to figure out like table gifts. I know you don't have to do that. Actually, Jessica, Sweetwater Stitcher, I know I mentioned her earlier. She had a really good video on like what to bring to a retreat, what to pack, table gifts, smalls. I am not doing the smalls exchange for Stitch North. I decided not to do that, but there is going to be a Canadian smalls exchange going on. That is, okay, Two Bay Stitchers. I need to write this stuff down. So if you've never seen Two Bay Stitchers, go watch them too. They're Canadian. They're out of PEI. They are organizing, I believe, actually, so Easter Monday, I think, which is when you'll see this. Their video is going to go up. They are hosting a Canadian Flosstubers Canadian Smalls Exchange something. So go check out that video as well. It'll be the same day as this one, as far as I know. Yeah, but I did decide against the Smalls Exchange. I know, I'm sure it's lots of fun, but I don't finish anything. So my Smalls Exchange would be horrible. And yeah, I'm working on sort of like table gifts, and I do have a new start plan that I've kitted up that I'll show my next video for that. And I'm going to do some giveaways in my next video. I haven't done those in a while, honestly, just from sheer lack of organization, to be completely honest with you. So I do have some stuff. So my next floss tube will be in 2 weeks, and it will be my like Flossiversary, Stitch North giveaway. It'll be everything. It'll be all the plans. Probably not a lot of stitching because it's only 2 weeks from now and I won't have time to get any stitching done. But hopefully get some other stuff done. I think that's all. I haven't watched a ton of Flosstube. I've caught a few new ones, new to me, not new Flosstubers. So the Tattooed Stitcher, she's fantastic. I have no idea why I have never watched her before. I watch Megan, the Seattle Stitcher, a lot, and she's mentioned her. And, you know, I'm like, I should look her up. And then one day she popped up in my like For You page, kind of not For You, like, you know, the homepage for YouTube. And I was like, oh, she's great. She's got all kinds of stuff. So if you've never seen the Tattooed Stitcher, I am late to the game. She is not a new Flosstuber by any stretch, but lots of fun. I really enjoyed her. Another one was the New England Stitcher, which I've never seen her before either. It's kind of interesting, like, what like pops up in your like things you may like or whatever it is. Like, oh, you watched the Seattle Stitcher, so you'll like this, or you've watched like Pumpkin Hollow Quilt, so you'll like this. But then I've been watching Flosstube for now probably since COVID. So like since 2020. So that's like 4 years. And some of them, and they have tons of Flosstubes and I've never even heard of them. So I was surprised by that. She's great also. The Tattooed Stitcher, the New England Stitcher I've watched. And some of my like favorites, right? Like I always watch the Seattle Stitcher and I watch B&E Stitchery. I love them. Handmade by Sarah W., one of my favorites. And she is now, she had one that just came out that I haven't watched yet, but I'm very excited with Stitchy Sarah, the Sarahs. What's her new channel? Sarah Stitchery maybe is her new channel. She's great too. I really enjoy her. So they're doing one together. So that is on my list to watch this weekend at some point. And who else? Oh, Mrs. Flossie. So I watched her before and then somehow she just sort of fell out of my like routine and she popped back up and she was doing like, with a few other people. Anyway, if you see her, she was fantastic. I love her. And I watched her. And then for whatever reason, she, like, you know, when I guess because I didn't hit the bell. That's what it is. You have to hit the bell. And then you get the, like, oh, this person put a new video and this person put a new video. So Mrs. Flossie, I love her. She's so sweet. And she designs as well. She's lovely. She's so lovely. And I think that's all for like my new people. I haven't gotten a lot of, I just haven't had a lot of Flosstube time lately. So I am actually, one thing I'm looking forward to in my trip to Toronto is because the TV, there's like nothing good on TV. And so the last time I went, I brought my laptop and just sort of propped it up. I had like 2 beds. So I had my like sleeping bed and then it was like my stitching spot and I had my laptop and I just watched Flosstube and I had my snacks and I had my stitching. It was great. It was fun, actually. I had a lot of fun. It's kind of nice. It's a treat to go away on someone, like, work pays for it, right? So it's kind of fun to go and have a little bit of, they have DoorDash there because, of course, they're a city, and I live in the middle of absolute nowhere, and we do not have DoorDash. So you can just put it in your phone, and somebody shows up with your food, which is fantastic. I think it's wonderful. I'm very glad we don't have that here because I think I would utilize it, and it would be very, very expensive. But when you're away, it's fun. I'm like, I don't even have to, and it was freezing because it was February, so it was really cold. So it's like, I don't want to have to go and find food. So that was really nice. DoorDash is, us country people who don't get to experience these lovely city amenities. I really enjoyed it. I think that's it. I always end every video with thinking I've forgotten something because I don't write enough notes, but I think that's all for me today. Thank you so much. If you have stuck through to the end of all my rambling, thank you so much. I appreciate every single one of you. I appreciate every message and comment and likes, and people find me on Instagram and they send me these wonderful messages, and I really enjoy it. This has been so it's just such a fun experience to do this. I was walking with a friend the other day, one of my neighbors, and we were talking about just some of the friendships that I've made from that I've never met any of you in real life and may not ever get to, but true friendships really do develop from this community. And I think that's really special. Some people might think it's odd, but it's really neat to know that you have sort of friends everywhere that really are legitimate friends, not just random people that you sort of kind of know online, but people that you really get to know, and get to be a part of their, their lives, really. It's really neat. It's been a really neat experience. If you're ever thinking of starting a Flosstube, you 100% should. But yeah, it's been really fun, and very, very, very much looking forward to meeting some people in person for Stitch North. That's very exciting. I'm going to leave you all now. I am hoping you have a fantastic Easter, and I will see you all in a couple of weeks, hopefully with some stitching, definitely with some plans and some kitted projects and some giveaways. So I'll see you in a few weeks. Thanks. Bye.